Are you considering getting married? Or maybe perhaps you're like many guys in today's modern world and many couples who've decided not to get married. I was definitely in that category for the majority of my life. Just recently, after 17 years, myself and Sarah, we've decided to get married. Less and less couples are deciding to get married and just live together. They don't even call each other husband and wife. It's more like my partner. And I want to share with you why I decided, and myself and Sarah decided to get married, even though we've been together for 17 years, and the difference it's made for me. It's maybe something that you want to consider, and maybe something that we want to look at a holistic level in today's society. Let's dive into it. Hi, my name is Nakula Das, and I help men master their S3X energy so you can become a powerhouse both in and outside of the bedroom, and most importantly, unleash your God-given abilities. Go to the link in the description below and take the free transmutation guide if you want to learn more about the practice of transmutation and how your S3X energy can unleash your potential. Many men, many couples in today's world are deciding not to get married for various different reasons. I know I generally never wanted to get married. It wasn't important to me. One of the reasons why is because I went to a few weddings in high school and I went to a few weddings in college, where I observed people's weddings, and some of my buddies got married, and I did not like the process. It kind of turned me off. I felt that people were very materialistic about it. Families would be fighting, people would be crying, and I always used to think to myself, isn't this supposed to be a happy occasion? And who cares if Aunt Susie is mad with Uncle Bob? And why is that the center of the attention when really we're here to celebrate this couple's love and their commitment to each other? I always intuitively felt that there was something off about the modern ceremony of marriage, and I didn't have the language or the knowledge that I have today to be able to explain it, but it was more just a gut feeling of like something off about this. Really turned me off. It also really turned me off of how much importance was placed on status and what table somebody was sitting at, or you have to invite all of these people that a lot of times the couple didn't even know. I know one of my aunts went through this with my grandmother of like, this aunt has to be there and this person has to be there. And she's like, I don't even know these people, but there seems to be all this pressure and obligation. And again, it lost the central point. And so over time, I thought this is not important. Now mix those experiences with the modern culture of, essentially where family values are breaking down. The family center is no longer important. Pleasure and, individuality is more important in today's modern culture, and it's been pushed on us more and more. Then we have sort of modern feminist ideas around like, ownership. You don't own, that person. While I totally agree with that in no shape, or even though I do joke with Sarah, I'm like, now that you're my property, right? I'm joking. I actually no way, shape, or feel any different than when we weren't married about like ownership. I don't own Sarah. I firmly believe in people's free will and choice, and that includes my wife and anybody and everybody. Ultimately, you make the decision of how you want to live your life. I take inspiration from the Vedic knowledge, the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna, in that tradition, represents God and gives Arjuna all of this information about life and the soul and choices. And while he tells him how to escape his miseries and his sufferings and how to become an enlightened soul, at the end he says, now you have the information, the choice is yours. And I always said, if God grants us free will and choice in all traditions, God grants us a certain amount of free will and choice as human beings, who am I to not honor that in somebody else? Give people information and then let them make their own decisions. People have to learn on their own, essentially. Then as time went on, and myself and Sarah, grew older, and we've been together. She was, I think, 18 when we started, and I was 22, 23. She's filming, so 23. As we got older and we started going more and more down the spiritual path, I started to learn more about why family values were important. I also started to learn why, unfortunately, they've been pushed away from our society and as essentially kind of a warfare against our society. But I recognize more and more through the knowledge that I gained that there is a power behind powerful ceremonies. For example, as men in many traditions, we would have ceremonies or rites of passage, uh, certain aspects of our life, certain things that we did and we celebrated to cultivate who we are, to understand our place in the world, to have purpose, to have meaning, and to see how we fit into the society. And now I really see we are missing the point in many of our ceremonies. I know in the Jewish tradition, there's the bar mitzvah, right? And a man is becoming his own, or a woman is stepping into her own. And instead of it being about that, it's about the big party and everybody's getting drunk, and it becomes a materialistic endeavor, and nobody even barely speaks about the actual spirituality of it. Look at Christmas in the Christian world, is that there's Jesus is the center point and the birth of the Savior for Christians, and instead of it about being this a son of God, this enlightened being, however you view Christ, coming into this world, it's about Santa Claus and Christmas gifts and presents and so forth and so forth. I'm sure if you just did some simple observation, depending where you are in the world and your culture and where you are, you might be able to see this same thing happening with your rituals and ceremonies and rites of passage. But as I continue to develop myself and continue to grow and grow closer and closer to God, I recognize that there's power in this. And so myself and Sarah decided, you know what, I think, we should get married. And it was interesting because I think we both mutually came to that understanding. And, at first Sarah wasn't going to take my last name. And again, I had no issue with that. I never expected it. But then, one day she said, I'm going to take your last name and we're going to become a family. And that's when I really realized, it's actually when she said that, I didn't even realize how much of an impact. It made me happy inside. As a man, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I felt like a deeper commitment. And it's not that I didn't feel we were committed to each other. But again, it's sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You think you're committed, but then there's another level of commitment. Just like someone might think they're good at a sport, and then they see somebody that's even better at that sport, and you're like, oh, now that guy's really good. It's kind of like that, where you're like, I'm committed, until you recognize there's a deeper level of commitment. Someone might think oh, I'm a good person, until you meet a saint, and then you're like, oh, I got some shit to work on, right? So it was like that. It was like when she said, actually, I am going to take your last name. It's all of a sudden, I felt this kind of yeah, that's awesome. And I'll tell you something with men's psychology as guys, we, and again, I'm going to use the word ownership here, but take that in the context of what I'm speaking about. Again, in no way, shape, or form do I feel like I own Sarah. And at the same time, knowing that she was going to take my last name, and I felt almost like a deeper, hey, I'm even deeper committed because now we're family. Now we have this mutual kind of name together. And as we know, whether it's in a spiritual context or not, there's power in someone's name. There's power in names, just like there's power in ceremonies. So as I started to grow spiritually and started to understand the rituals of different traditions that I've studied around the world, I recognized that, oh, I get it. The ritual is powerful. The problem is we've lost the knowledge behind the ritual. So we're only doing the ritual. We're getting married, but we don't really understand. We're having the bar mitzvah or the birthday or the whatever, the Christmas, or Janmashtami or whatever we're celebrating, but we've lost the point. We don't really understand the essence of it, so we're staying on the surface. So as I dove deeper into understanding the power of marriage, is that you're not making just an outward commitment, you're actually creating an impression on the heart. You're making an inward commitment. It's a spiritual ceremony. Actually, Pastor Andrew, who's a friend of ours, and he did our ceremony, he said the ring, while it's symbolic, and that's why we wear the ring, because it says I'm committed, I'm married, in no way, shape, or form does the ring actually drive the commitment home. It helps us to remember our commitment, but the actual love is in the heart, and that's what it's really about. And so we decided to get married, and just a few months ago we got married, and we had an amazing ceremony, and we did the ceremony very differently. We were upfront that this was not a materialistic event. This is a spiritual event for myself and Sarah to invite God formally into our relationship. Right? God was already present. But again, it creates an impression on our heart where it says, now we're going to invite God into this ceremony. And we did certain things that we don't generally see in typical weddings that I've been to, which is we didn't have seating arrangements, meaning when we went all to eat, everybody just sat where they sat. We didn't focus on the externals, but we really focused on the spiritual event and the commitment that we're making to each other. We had no alcohol at our wedding. We didn't want people drunk and high or whatever. This was not an excuse to get drunk. This was a spiritual event. I gave us a speech at the wedding, and I said one of the reasons that we decided to get married was because of all the reasons I've just shared with you. And it's something I think we're losing in our society. But I recognized that there was this impression that was made and this commitment that was made that really made me feel like taking ownership of my life, of my family, and of where we're headed. And one thing that I know about men's psychology that I've learned about us guys is that we actually, if we feel some ownership, some responsibility over something, we take care of it better. If you don't feel ownership over something, if you don't feel like you're leading, if you don't feel like you're actually have a deeper purpose, you don't take ownership. So while there's this kind of appeal of this independence that everybody wants, I want to be independent, whether man or woman. I don't want to be too committed. I want to have options and choices. I actually believe that we're doing a really big disservice for ourselves and our society, which is let's get committed. Let's get committed on a deeper level. Let's stop being boys and let's start being men and really get committed. And so if you're considering not getting married, look, your life, your choice, maybe this video will give you some things to think about. And if you're with someone and you've been with each other for a long time, like myself and Sarah, the pastor made a joke and said, after 17 years, they're kind of ready. It was a good laugh. It's like, yeah, you know what? Doesn't matter if you've been together 10 years or 15 years or 100 years or whatever, you can still make that deeper commitment and get married. I hope this video inspires you. Let me know what you took away from it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? It's an open discussion. I would love to hear your perspectives on marriage and ceremony and where we're at as a culture and in your own life in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button so you never miss a video. I'll see you on the next one. God bless.